Hey, I hope you all are doing well. It's been a minute since I checked in, particularly here on Instagram. I might also post this on YouTube, but most of my Better with Troy videos for the last couple of weeks have been going up on YouTube. So if you haven't already, check that out. But a big inspiration behind me jumping on the camera today is I was at my desk and I was looking at some books that I want to spend the next couple of weeks reading, right? Much of them outside of the world of business, even outside the world of personal and professional development. Just some books that's been on my list that I just haven't prioritized. And one such book, and let me reach out and get it, is David Chang's, let's see if I can capture this. The lighting is kind of crazy, but David Chang's Eat a Peach. It's a memoir, which again, I haven't dug into it yet, but I'm presuming it goes a bit into his rise as a chef and then later owner of Momofuku, which is a very famous chain of restaurants, I believe globally at this point. I'm more familiar with it locally here in New York City. And I received this book as a gift. I want to say early 2020, late 2019. It's just a random gift by someone who thought I'd be interested in reading it. Fortunately, I am, but what's also ironic about receiving this book is because Momofuku was the site of my first date. It was the first place I ever took a girl out on a date. And this was, maybe my second year of college, and I forget what course I was taking, but it was this girl that, I was kind of eyeing, and she kind of eyed me here and there, but it was probably more of me doing the eyeing. And during the last day of class, I mustered up the courage to ask her and say, hey, would you like to go on a date? That's a good time because last day of classes, finals is over. Like, even if she says no, you got the whole summer, you ain't got to worry about it. Everyone forgets. It's a whole reset. So very strategic there. Troy was very strategic during that moment. But I asked her, unfortunately, she said what? She said yes, right? Wow, right? This is my first date. This is exciting. So I guess I scoured the web, I'm presuming, and I came on Momofuku, which at the time, and again, I don't have the dates here, I didn't do big research before this video, but I'm presuming, just putting myself in that moment, I believe it was around the time where it first opened in Manhattan. It was his flagship restaurant around 9th Street, 10th Street, Lower Manhattan, basically, and it was the hot spot. For young go-getters, right? Young professionals, it's the place to go. If you're on a date, it's the place to be. Also, you can bring the family there. But it was just a very young vibe, upbeat, right? Just a hip Japanese restaurant. So that's where we went. That's where we met. And at the time, I think this is an interesting detail worth mentioning. At the time, I didn't drink. As many of you know that follow my content, I was born and raised in Harlem. When you're raised in a marginalized community, you have so many things up against you. So growing up, I made a conscious decision to strike out alcohol and drug use growing up, just to give myself somewhat of a better chance of making it, right? So alcohol was one of those things. So we get to the restaurant, again, beautiful, young people, doing everything they got to do, so much talking going on, everyone's having a good time. It was my first date, so I didn't calculate for this, but the waitress came up to us. And in my traditional, mind, going out with family here and there growing up, I was thinking that the first thing I was going to ask about was food. What do you want to eat? But the first thing she asked us was, well, what do you want to drink? And my mistake was two things. One, I didn't calculate for that. There was no way of me knowing that, so I don't blame myself. But the other one, I didn't calculate for what I would say in that situation. I was just so worried about the date and what I would say to her. So the waitress comes over again within like 2 minutes of us sitting down. Again, excellent service. She asks us that, and I'm kind of stunned. Like, I don't know what to say. I have no reference point for alcohol. Now I'm thinking about, like, am I going to get drunk, tipsy? Like, am I going to embarrass myself? Am I going to throw up? Even worse. I'm panicking kind of, right? But, you play cool. I'm talking, I'm smiling, you do your thing. So, like, this is microseconds. I'm thinking about all this. And fortunately, she orders first. She takes it upon herself. I'm probably taking too long. She orders first. And I forgot what she ordered. I'm pretty sure restaurants like that, everything is on a rotation, so nothing stays there for more than a season, but it was some type of ginger drink. And if you ever have ginger anything, there's a certain quality to it. But she ordered the ginger something, right? A ginger cocktail, let's call it. And, you know, me not knowing what to order, I kind of went with the traditional textbook answer, you know, I'll have what she's having, right? That was literally what I said. And it wasn't awkward, you know, because you kind of say it in a certain way. So I was like, yeah, I'll have what she's having and leave it at that, right? Like, I don't want to think too much about it. I'll just have what she's having. And, you know, it worked out that moment. It wasn't embarrassing. So the waitress scurries along. I don't even think she asked about food. Maybe she did, but that's the only thing I remember is the drink. So she goes away. You know, again, we start talking again. It's a great time, right? So much we connect on. Again, just a great vibe, right? I'm having a good time. 3 minutes later, what happens? She comes back, she has the drinks, right? And this was kind of the moment of truth, right? Again, I'm afraid I'm gonna throw up. I'm afraid I'm gonna hate it. I'm afraid I'm gonna spit it out. I'm afraid I'm gonna get drunk. You know, all these, I'm scenarializing like the worst case. So the drink comes and I'm just kind of still nursing that water. Right? I'm still talking, but I'm nursing that water like a champ. And luckily, and this was a blessing, she decides that, you know, she'll take a sip of the drink before me. And as she goes to reach for it, kind of mirroring, I go and reach for mine, and I take a sip, just a sip, and it's just kind of dead quiet, because she's kind of like looking down, kind of like analyzing it, and I'm just kind of like looking at her in the side eye, like, I don't know, we're gonna drink this whole thing, what's gonna happen? And then she said, "This is strong, isn't it?" And it was ginger. Remember, it was a ginger drink, so anything with ginger is real strong. She said, "This is real strong, isn't it?" And me, again, no reference point. I'm like, "Yeah, it's super strong. It's crazy how strong this is." You know, just going. And from there, she said, "Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna drink this." And I said, "Yeah, me neither." So I was saved by that ginger drink, but you know, it was kind of like a moment that I often retell when I'm with friends or, you know, in different setups. And I was actually at the, ironically, this past weekend, I was at the Noodle Bar. I think Momofuku, they have like these individual restaurants called Noodle Bar. I was there on Saturday, and that moment kind of came back to me. I was there with some friends, and yeah, just one of those stories that, you know, just always stays with me. This was many years ago at this point, but it was kind of like a, you know, it was kind of like a survive or die situation, man. I was really nervous about the outcome of drinking that whole drink, and it was a pretty sizable drink. Sometimes they cheat you on the size, particularly with cocktails, but it was a healthy sized drink, and luckily it was too strong for her and obviously too strong for me. So I thought I'd share that story again. I'm looking to dig into this book, this David Chang, Eat a Peach. I'll let you know how I like it, although I'm sure I will, especially looking at the back and all the people that kind of wrote a little quote on it. So thought I'd share that with you. If you have any books that you recommend, particularly like memoirs or stories of like famous entertainers or comedians or artists, you know, please leave a comment and let me know. And I'm sure other people that watch this video might want to see that as well. So looking forward to catching up with you soon. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.